Well, here we are, the old L200 front prop shaft. Easy thing to get off. There are 4 bolts. You need a 14mm and a 12mm spanner. Undo the ones that you can reach, and then jack one front wheel up and turn it until you can reach the others. The prop shaft is splined into the gearbox. So that just pulls out. There is a master spline which you need to be aware of when you're putting it back on. If you haven't had the sense to drain the oil out already, have something to catch the oil, maybe a couple of pints comes out. Now the Hardy Spicer or universal joint is fitted in with circlips. Now don't fire straight in there with your circlip pliers, or you will break the points off or bend them like on that pair of pliers. I've got dozens of these things I've picked up over the years, and a lot have broken points. Loosen them with a punch first and then just use the pliers to remove them. I'm not going to show you the removal of the joint because I did a video about the Toyo to Hilux which demonstrates the replacement of a joint. So if you don't know how to do it, just have a look at the Hilux video. Well, here's a little digression. I'm working on the old L200 and it needed a new universal joint in the front prop shaft, which turned out to be a rather unusual size, 77mm by 25mm, and none of the local auto parts places listed one. The original is a Koyo, a Japanese thing, 15 years old, and the 2 journals, which are still good, still feel very good. Now the downfall of these things is you have one grease point feeding 4 bearings, and grease, like water, always takes the easiest route. So if one gets stiff, it doesn't get the grease, the other 3 do, so it gets even stiffer and then it wears out. Anyway, 20 quid later, this one arrived. And if I hadn't been researching Koyo products the night before, being steering racks and things, I wouldn't have even noticed it said Toyo instead of Koyo. It was very nicely boxed. They sent 2 of them, and one of them actually has almost a hologram on. I don't know whether it is a hologram or whether it's just a shiny thing. But the other box doesn't, so that isn't a good sign if they can't even get their packaging consistent. It came sealed in a nice plastic thing, genuine type, Japan spec. Well, Japan spec doesn't really mean anything. The original Koyo one has Koyo on the cruciform, Koyo on the end of each of the journals, and the Toyo one has Toyo on the cruciform and Toyo on each of the journals. Yeah, Koyo or Toyo. Anyway, I thought I'd have a better look at this thing. And the journals, brand new, the journals feel a bit rough. So I took the rubber seal off that end, and actually it's as rough as can be. You can probably even hear it. That's not a good sound for a new bearing. And there is lateral play there. The needles aren't even ground on the ends, they're just kind of clipped off. So this is a disappointment, and if I wasn't wanting to use the truck immediately, I would be sending it back, but I have to use it because I'm not going to Mitsubishi for a new one, because I'm not that wealthy. Look at that, one of the needles has fallen out already. So I'm going to fit it back in the prop shaft and use it, and I don't expect it to last very long. Anyway, a quick look on public enemy number 1, the computer. It seems that Toyo are Indian. The circlips that came with this Toyo universal joint are terrible things that don't even fit in the circlip grooves. I'm glad I saved the old ones. The seals on the Koyo are much better. They're a pressed in double-lipped seal, a substantial thing, whereas the ones on the Toyo from India are just a little dust shield, bit of rubbish. So Koyo or Toyo, what do you think? Don't actually know what a ISO 9001 company is. Probably gobbledygook, and that probably isn't Japanese at all. And if you're planning to use one of these on an L200, don't bother, because the grease nipple fouls the yoke. I found a grease nipple that would fit in it. Bizarrely, for something, a metric thing made in India, the grease nipple hole is tapped a 1/4 BSF. If you can't find a shallow angled one, you could just put some grease in before you do the final assembly and blank the hole with a straight one.